What's going on, everybody? This is Jay,
And this is Warren.
and here we have a guest today. I want him to introduce himself. Let him know, bro.
Hey man, this is your boy Cool McCain, Eagles Elite Podcast, Wednesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We still talking Eagles. Also, you can catch me on Friday nights at Real Play Callers on YouTube or playcallersportstalk.com/live. Also got shows on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and Saturday nights. You can catch all those on one of those two channels. So, hey man, a lot going on, but I love to talk sports. That's my jam.
Nice, nice, nice. Make sure you add your at name, maybe in your name, maybe so they could catch you.
Got you.
Yeah,
Well,
most
let them know,
definitely. Yeah,
Warren,
we
what we
appreciate
doing
you
today, what
coming
we
on.
talking about today.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, we appreciate you coming on. Cool. Hey, it's always good to get more Eagles fans on here. If you guys would like to come on, let us know. Hit a link, hit a comment down below. But we just gonna get started with the Eagles news. The first thing we're gonna talk about is Jason Kelsey hitting his 145th consecutive start. It's pretty remarkable the way that he's been. Uh, Holding back no sacks at all for going on 2 seasons. What do you guys think about that? We'll start off with Jay.
Yeah, I mean he's basically the modern day Iron Man for the Eagles. He's like I say, he's my favorite player. I stand by that. My current favorite Eagle is Jason Kelsey. It's been like that since the Super Bowl speech. Um, I just think he's the engine of the team. So to see him go that many games consecutive playing is pretty remarkable, considering how much he does on the field. He's up the field always when they're having any screen plays or anything. He's always up the field. He's always blocking. So it's tough to see him, do that.
What do you think about that? Cool.
Hey man, it's Jason Kelsey, bro. Like Jason Kelsey is the guy, you know what I'm saying, for the Eagles. Like you got a center undersized, but he's been there. He pulls, he does everything you ask for this team. He's the heart and the soul. I mean, epic Super Bowl rant. You
Hmm.
at that's the moment I'm with Jay. That's the moment where I'm
Yeah,
like, that's my guy. Like, I
that's my
like
guy.
other
Yeah.
players, but that dude is wild. And personality, you know what I'm saying? He keeps playing, he's coming back. Truthfully speaking, at this point, he's here to help the team. Because he could retire and be good. Got kids, he
Yeah.
got the bread, he been around. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Like he's done everything he needs to do, but he's still staying around to help the team try to get another a chip. So hey, nothing but love for that dude. Congratulations. And I hope he's got another 20, 30 games in him. I doubt it, but I hope.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Nah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, Jason Kelsey. I actually watched his documentary, bro, and just watching it, hey, you kind of rooting for him to keep pushing. But we all understand he's a vet. He's put in his time. He put in his years. But I think one good thing that's about Jason Kelsey is he's been through all these different quarterbacks, and he's been consistent. You know how some people just don't work well with other people, but he's just consistently just been working and building. He saw Jalen, he saw something in him, and he's building him. Like he was kind of his mentor a little bit. So like just embracing him, putting that arm around him after as close as he was with Carson, and I like it. And I'm becoming a Jason Kelsey fan. The more and more like I'm finding out more information about him. So it's only getting better. The next Eagle news we got is Brandon Smith, the linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, is actually signed on to the practice squad for the Eagles. We all know that the linebacker position has been a position that we've all been a little curious and questionable about. But with Nakobe Dean and now Morrow, and then with having Cunningham there, we just been looking for different linebackers. Jay, what do you think about us bringing in Brandon Smith?
I just think it's another depth piece. Like I haven't really done much about him. I just saw his measurables and stuff. They looks pretty good on paper, but I just think it's just a depth piece and just looking long term. This is the moment where the Eagles start looking for that mid-season push. Make sure they have healthy bodies on the team in the practice squad.
I agree. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. He's a young guy. He was drafted in 2022. He's only 22, so he's got room to develop and grow. Maybe we feel like he's a guy we can bring in, kind of work with him a little bit, get him good. He's got good size. He's like 6'3",
Yeah,
so
his
I like
measurables are
that
good on
too.
paper. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks good on paper. It's just a matter of trying to see if we can get that incorporated into the game plan. Maybe getting them in, maybe sitting them on the practice squad for a while. Maybe if we have some injuries or we have some games where we feel like we need another linebacker, we can bring him up, see how he works in actual games. Different scheme, it might fit what he can do well.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and it's just adding depth to what we need because at the end of the day, we got a bigger picture, and we got a bigger goal that the Eagles are looking for, and why not have depth? So, so it was good having him there. Next, we'll go over the injury report. Um, it's a pretty deep injury report. I'll go over all the players right now that we have information about. So we got Darius Slay, who possibly will be out this game against the Jets with a knee injury. He didn't practice yesterday, and he didn't practice today. Jalen Carter did not practice today due to an ankle injury. I know that's going to be a huge hit if we don't have him this Sunday. But on the good side, we got Nakobe Dean, most likely coming back from his foot injury, possibly to start against the Jets. Fletcher Cox, who's most likely will be back this game. And one that I'm excited for, Sidney Brown, is most likely to play too this next game. All these are big stars. They make an impact every time they touch the field. I'm a switch it up. Cool. What do you think about this injury report?
So, when you look at it, you're always concerned where you have some of the guys that we really expect that we're going to need a lot from in this game to be, on the injury report. Like Jalen Carter with the ankle, you look at that and you say, you know, Justin Evans with the knee. I know he's not a big piece, but every guy that plays safety and linebacker, we need to be playing. Slay, of course, with the knee. Guys that didn't practice, you're a little worried about that. And you get it like Sidney Brown, Nakobe Dean, Jack Stoll, who we could use another blocking tight end. So that way, if things come to it, we can kind of, use Dallas Goedert more as like a slot receiver. I would rather do that than put Quez Watkins back out there if you don't believe it's the keys. I'm just saying. But
Yeah.
Tupeludo, Cox, Penny, they all, they finished practice. Cox and Penny did, and then Stoll, Tupeludo, and Dean and Brown. They left practice, but they were able to do a portion of practice. So I feel confident that most of those guys are going to at least give it a go. I mean, I think some of them will be game time decisions. So we'll be checking those depth charts and those injury reports on Friday and Saturday. That'll let us know what we can expect to see on Sunday.
Nice. I like that. Jay?
Yeah, the Slay injury surprised me a little. So I didn't know he didn't practice yesterday because that was actually produced today. So we all didn't even know. That was like a little bit the biggest surprise of me is the Slay injury. I hope it's
Yeah.
nothing crazy or needs long term. Or when I say long term, I mean more than a week or so, or even a game. But see, this is why we need Roby in there because and we need cornerbacks that are interchangeable because when one of the guys out going outside, you got to be able to bring in Bradbury to cover the slot or how vice versa or a way where we don't have deficiencies. Because if a guy doesn't have no experience and you put him there like Job, he's gonna have growing pains and that's what we were dealing with. That's why we brought Roby in and Roby played exceptionally well after they put him in the second half. We don't know how ready Ricks is. We saw him give up a couple plays. He didn't give up anything extraordinary, but he still, was trailing in on both of his two plays I saw him on against Cooper Cup. But the Slay injury has me a little concerned just because he didn't practice and they didn't mention everything until today, and it's just a little concerning, that it's just all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a little concerning. Um, I know in the Eagles locker room they had that mentality that hey, one game at a time, but we kind of seen how the Jets have produced this season so far. So
Yeah.
I think if Slade misses out on this one, it's not going to hurt me too much just because I'm thinking about that next
Miami.
game that we got against the Miami Dolphins with
And we don't
Tyreek
want to
Hill, Waddle.
overlook games like you said, but we do know we
We
would
don't.
rather
We
much
don't.
rather have him there. I agree with you. We would much rather have him ready for the Dolphins game than the Jets game because we could get the young guys in and get them that experience on the road and in a quick one.
That's a
Yeah,
very
so
good call. Absolutely.
I definitely would love to see Slay play, but I would like to see him play. But let's give him some rest. Let's give him some rest because
But look at
we
Fletcher
got some
Cox.
players that are
Fletcher
coming
Cox missed
fast.
his first game since 2017 due to injury, and
Yeah.
and it's good that he sat out because we got Jalen and we got Davis, we got enforcements on the inside, so it's like he could sit out. We got Street, we got other guys who could produce, and Milton, and we got guys who could produce. So it was all right that he sat out for a game. If Slay has to do the same, like you said, that's a scenario I could see happening, him being a game time decision and scratching him.
Would like to see
Yeah,
Ringo
and
get some reps if that happens too.
Oh man, me too. But you know
I
what?
would like to see
It's
that too.
it's weird because you're seeing other guys play ahead of him. That's not a good sign when you're seeing the guy who went undrafted, playing before the guy who was, a fourth round pick. So, that's a little alarming because you do, like we said, that's why Dean is gonna be out there because they invested a high draft pick in Dean. They're not just gonna let Dean sit on the bench and not see what he's about. Then you start messing with his psyche and his head. So you gotta let him play. And once they're invested in a draft pick and he's not playing, I get a little bit of work. I get a little worried, but Ringo still has plenty of time.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we don't get to the point where we have to start touching that deep on the cornerback depth chart.
Yeah, well, you know, Ricks
Yeah,
would have been like a first, second round pick if he didn't get
Yeah.
hurt.
If he didn't
So
get
I
hurt
mean,
with his
exactly.
chest,
yeah,
he
yeah,
was a pick machine
yeah,
in LSU when he was up there.
yeah.
He has switched. He went from LS. What school did he go to?
Where did he go?
He went to LSU, and then I know he switched. I don't know where he ended
Got
up.
where he went.
I know he played a lot of primetime football though. A
Yeah.
lot of primetime football, and you're right. He would have went. He injured. I don't know if it was his pectoral, shoulder, something, upper body injury. I remember him having, and he slipped all the way out of the draft.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Just
Yeah.
just how people are slipping just like that in the draft. But I kind of
Ringo
agree with
slipped
you on
too.
Ringo.
Ringo should have been
Yeah,
hired too.
Ringo
Ringo should
slipped.
have been hired.
I think Ringo's year is going to be next year, though. I think he's kind of in that no Kobe Dean position that
I
he was in
thought this
last
was
year.
right. He went to Alabama.
Alabama, but before he
He was
was
Alabama.
in
at LSU.
Alabama, yeah,
He
he was
was
at
at
LSU.
LSU. Yeah, he was a beast
Yeah,
at LSU.
yeah. Look at
Then
where he played.
okay,
Come
yeah.
on, look where he played. He played at DBU, which is LSU, and then he went to Alabama, the best,
Mhm.
probably one, arguably the best program in the nation. So the
Yeah.
dude played primetime games. So I believe he will be ready when he's ready. He just
Yeah.
needs time, and man. The cornerback and safety is one of the hardest positions, man. You're defending playing backwards. I always remember Richard Sherman say it's the hardest position to play on the field, and a lot of guys say defensive back is because you're running, you're doing everything backwards when you really essentially
Mhm.
think about it.
You're reading plays,
And
you're
then
reading
learn
schemes,
the
you're reading the
difference in
quarterback. Yeah.
The
terminology,
field is flipped.
schemes, and everything. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Field
I
is
mean, it's
flipped.
yeah.
You gotta have a defensive mindset. You gotta have that mindset. So I just think that we're good on cornerback depth, like you said, Ringo. We have a lot of projects and guys that we're not sure of yet. So let's just see where we go. Hopefully, like I said, we don't have to go that deep on the depth chart. But Slay and Bradbury, I will always say they're not getting any younger. Their
Yeah.
best
You
days
got
are
to start
Most
behind. Their
figuring out.
definitely.
super best days are behind them.
Yeah, you got to start figuring
Yeah.
out who's going to be the next guys up
Absolutely,
for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah. And with that being said, we'll get started on the upcoming game this Sunday versus the Jets. Forgive me in advance if I get these numbers wrong, but I'm gonna get them right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about the Eagles offense versus the Jets defense. Now to get this started, the Jets are ranked number 32 on rush defense, ranked number 29 on pass defense. However, the Eagles
Oof.
offense is ranked number 10 on pass and ranked second on run
Overall.
offense. So I think we can all kind of agree that the run game is already a mismatch. Jay, what do you think about this so far, knowing those stats?
Well, first off, I think that our run defense is going to be historic. I keep, bringing it up every week because every week they're not giving up many yards, and every week they're forcing these guys into erratic throws, which helps our defense essentially take over games. That's why we had the second half takeover because we made
Mhm.
adjustments. Plus, they don't have no running game. When you lose your running game in football, you got to have an elite quarterback to start throwing darts because at the end of the day, the Eagles still are not giving up a lot of rush yards. Brees Hall is a good running back. I follow the Jets a little, living closer to New York. My son is a Jets fan. I have a lot of Jets fans that are friends, So it's a team I keep an eye on, just being from the city of New York. But Brees Hall is not a slouch. This is gonna be a good matchup for us. There's gonna be a good matchup for us with him because he's slick, he's quick. Every week our run defense is getting better and better. Last year at this point, I think entering week 6, we were allowing 126 yards. Right, we're allowing
Yeah,
only 61 yards now a game. Number one rush defense in the whole NFL. It's amazing. How you feel, Cool?
yeah,
I love to hear those numbers, man, because the big thing that killed us last year was I like to call him the big cat. Big cat Jordan Davis got hurt. When he got hurt, we
Ooh,
saw
that was
us starting to get gashed. You know what I'm saying? Because I was at the
100.
mhm,
Steelers game when he got hurt, and they were not running the ball. Then he got hurt. It's like, oh, he out, and they started hitting that run. But him being healthy is a major thing, of course, for us. But just that young talent and dogs, guys on that line that just they want it, right? Tupeludo basically, you know, said, I'm going to be one of the guys in this rotation. Somebody's going to lose their spot.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And we know
Yeah.
who that was, and he's running around prime because he got outplayed. But hey, it happens.
Listen, that's what is part of the game. They gotta understand that.
Mhm.
How do you guys feel about the pass defense? Our pass defense versus their pass offense. Their pass offense is actually ranked number 13th in the NFL right now.
You know, go ahead, Cole. I'll let you go first because I want to say something. Go ahead. I want to think about this.
Baiting. We have to bait him. We have to show him one look and give him another look. He's young. He still hasn't figured out those differences yet. So you want him to read, blitz, but then we're not going to blitz. We're going to drop back in zone. You want him to read zone, and then you sneak somebody up to hit him with the blitz. You want him to read that we're really expecting this to be a pass play when we're expecting it to be a run, those type of things. You want to bait him. You want to make him believe he's got throws, and then when he tries to take the throw, you jump him, you get the routes. You want to just make the game as difficult as you can for a young quarterback as far as what he's seeing pre-snap, because he's not used to this. He didn't do well last year. He did have a good game last week, and I've been down on him a lot, but I will say that I'm starting to see him turn the corner a little bit.
Yeah.
I still think he's got a long way to go, but he's at least looking like he could be at least a backup in the league now. Before I was like, he's super trash. He don't even know why he's out here. But just making it difficult. That rush, of course, pounded on him. You know what I'm saying? And every time he makes a mistake, make him pay for it. That's what I think we need to do to really shut down that passing game.
Yeah, I think a lot of Jets fans are thinking that Breece Hall will run all over us, and I just can't see that. I can't see that happening.
Good luck.
Yeah, Jay, what were you about to say?
I've seen every Jets game this season so far. So I've seen the low. He's hit a below, like Cool just said, where you looked at him 3 weeks ago. You said this guy don't even look like now. The last 2 games he's played at a higher level. But to be truthfully honest with you, not being biased, this is the situation for him that he doesn't want to walk into right now, because everything with him is his timing is off. He's his anticipation is off. And what does Philly do? All they do is disrupt timing. All they do is make you get you off that hill. So this is gonna be his biggest. When I say biggest challenge of the year, and maybe even his last starts, he's never faced a defensive line like this. So I have a feeling it's gonna be a long day for Zach Wilson. And not being biased, just knowing in the position he is, even though he's ascending right now where he's playing at a skill level, I just think that they're gonna disrupt his timing all day long. And once they get in your head and once you get sacked a couple times, you get gunshot, the game can start going very, very south.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was our defense versus their offense. We'll move over to our offense versus the Jets defense. Jets defense with Sauce Gardner there. They actually lead number 29th in pass defense, and they're number 32 in rush defense. The Eagles right now, our pass offense is ranked number 10, and our run offense is ranked number 2. Sorry if I got those confused, but yeah. So we're number 10 in pass offense and number 2 in run offense.
Okay.
So what do you guys think about that? I personally think it's going to be a heavy run game for Swift and Gainwell. And personally, I would like to see Penny get the touches. I think it will be a good game for Penny to get those touches in, and we can see what he's about and see what he can do. What do y'all think?
Go ahead, Jay. You want me to go first?
Yeah, I went first last time.
I think, to be honest with you, I do think they're going to lean on the ground game a lot. But I also do. I think it's gonna rain on Sunday over here in New York. They're already predicting rain, so if it rains, it's gonna be hard to pass. They gotta get the pass game and the run balance. Just because I feel like some games we're all about the pass, then some games we're all about the run. I just wish we just had a little bit more in the middle, because then we become a little predictable. And if you've noticed that, like, towards the end of the game, we should be running more, and we're still gun heavy. And I just think that's attesting to trying to get the passing game right. Because the passing game is what we were lacking. Our running game is our running offense, like Warren said, we're number 2, so we've been competent already. But we're slowly climbing the passing ranks because we're getting it together. So I think towards the end of the season, we'll start brutalizing teams with more balance of a run than passing.
Yeah. What do you think, Cool?
So my concern is what someone said in the comments. We're still having problems in the red zone. We've got to find ways to punch that ball in the end zone when we're in the red zone, because between the 20s, I mean, we look great. We throwing the ball in the field. We marching down the field. We throw it to the side. Oh man, Hurts is getting big plays, and we running and we doing all that stuff. Then we get like to the 15, and then it's like, is this the same team? Like, what happened? So we just need to use the right personnel, man. If you're gonna run the ball in the red zone, let's be real. Multiple tight ends. Let's push some people back. Maybe we put one of the guys in like he's in the fullback position so he could be that lead blocker. Be original, do some things. And I mean, I love Kenneth Gainwell. I like the speed. I like the explosiveness. I like the everything. But we can't use him as the red zone back. No, don't do that.
No.
Not enough
You got
space.
Swift.
He's a guy you're
You got
using space
Penny.
on third down.
Yeah.
You don't use him to brutalize. You're right.
We
You're
got Penny
absolutely
for a
right.
reason. Yeah.
He shouldn't even be an
you got
option in the
Scott.
red zone.
I'd rather have Scott out there than him.
Yeah.
Use the backs in the proper position. Truthfully speaking, I have DeAndre Swift in fantasy, so I want him to get all the carries. But I understand that's not going to happen. If you take some of his red zone carries and give him to Scott and Penny, I can live with that. If you take him and give him to Gainwell, I can't even say on air what I be thinking. So I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
So
And real
just
quick,
read
shout out
properly, roll
shout
out,
out
do
to
everything you
Gio
need to do.
too right now. Yeah, shout out to Gio. He's making good points. This our red zone offense, we got to do something when it comes to that. And
Yeah, we're not being opportunistic. We're leaving points on
hey,
the board.
we can't brotherly shove our way into the
Look.
Yeah, we
I'll
can't
bring
brotherly shove our way
this
into
up real
the
quick.
end zone, bro. We can't.
It was set when Jalen threw that pick to Witherspoon, right? It was the third quarter. There was 7 minutes left, I believe, I think it's 7 minutes left, and it was 17-14. In a game that we're dominating them, right? In the trenches. It's 17-14. That means at any moment we could lose the lead, anything. So you understand what I'm trying to say? And that's because we're not opportunistic in the red zones and we leave in that cushion. We need 2 possession leads. If you remember, last year was reminiscent. I don't want to compare. Don't like to compare season to season, but I'm just gonna compare past seasons. Last season in 2017, a Super Bowl run, we was unstoppable. We had 2 touchdown leads in games. Never was trailing. That's why I like this year, because we're winning, but we be trailing. Sometimes we be up only by 3 or 7, and we're still maintaining the lead. But we gotta build that cushion. If we do not take advantage of red zone opportunities, when we play the better teams like Kansas City and Buffalo that put up a lot of points, they're gonna beat us.
Miami in 2 weeks.
Miami in 2 weeks, they're gonna beat us. They're gonna, because those people don't settle for field goal. They're gonna beat us. So we have to start fixing those woes now. And I don't want to see Kenny G in the backfield either too, because he's a space guy. He don't got space when you're giving him 4 or 5 yards. He needs space. He's an outside run guy. You don't do that when you're running in the red zone.
He's a between the 20s running back. He's not an inside the 20s running back. Let's not do that.
Exactly. He bounced outside. You give him, hitches and pitches and stuff. You don't give him, bruising power runs and stuff, because he's not that guy. That's why we keep running the brotherly shove. Because at the end of the day, Jalen is a better option. I would like to see Swift get those runs in there. That's what I want to see.
He will.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, when I heard we picked up Swift, I thought we were going to use him a lot for those short receiving yards. And he's not doing that right now. That was kind of Gainwell to just be running it from the back. But now that we got Swift, he's kind of just taking over Gainwell's spot. And I think that's because Penny isn't living to the expectation that we thought we were going to have him at. And I think there was a lot
what's going on with Penny. We don't know what's going on. Like, they just, healthy. I don't like when
illness.
I see illness, healthy scratches. Like, what's going on, man? Like,
yeah, it may be one of those things where they got a trick up their sleeve and they just waiting for those tough games.
They could, the Eagles are weird like that. They could be trying to stash. We had Travis Fulgham stashed, I remember, on a practice squad, and then they had put him in the game, and all of a sudden he was like, remember, he had one off. And then it slowed down. It's just like, the Eagles always have a strategy. I trust Howie's decision making. I always tell you when especially when he started getting to these mid-season. Like I told you, I don't know much about the new linebacker we got from but I look at his measurables, and his measurables on paper look good. It's about the mental and what he physically putting on the field.
Yeah. And you got to think about like this as a whole, where we're 5-0 right now with new offensive coordinators, new defensive coordinators, where if anything, we're trending up. It's
Mhm.
not like we're even though Jake Elliott has been giving us majority of the points from kicking, but it's in a winning way that we're doing it. So I would much rather have that than be in other teams' positions where you got your offensive coordinator stabilized, like they're stable. Then you got your defensive coordinator, they're stable, but you winning and losing and still trying to figure out what you're doing. I'd much rather have where we're at because everybody that you talk to all knows we haven't played our best ball yet.
Nowhere near
And
it.
maybe we're doing that
Which is weird.
situationally because we're preparing for those. They see the schedule just like we see it.
Everybody knows. Yeah,
So
everybody knows
so
after
who
the bye
knows?
week.
They may be sitting back and just giving us those only plays because they know Buffalo's going to be looking at it. 49ers going to be looking at it. Cowboys going to be looking at it. Chiefs going to be
And
looking at
Sirianni
it.
will do some stuff like that. That is some
Yeah. Why
Sirianni-ish.
do all that? Yeah, why do all that now and show all of our plays when
It's
it's
starting to learn
game time and
Sirianni.
when we playing those teams, we ready to rock and roll with them. That's just that's my conclusion. That's what I think's going on. But we'll
You know, I
see.
want to
We'll
bring
definitely
something up real
see.
quick. Do you remember? I forgot which. I don't know if it was week 2 or week 3 when we were running the brotherly shove and Jalen they had ran a fake and he backed out of it and tripped. And I remember the
Mhm.
commentator saying, I wouldn't have showed that one because it's like, you always got something up your sleeve. Because I have a feeling one day they're gonna fake a brotherly shove and
Yeah.
they're gonna just do something ridiculous. And they try to do it, but Jalen tripped. So there's something up the sleeve they got going on.
Yeah,
There's
there's
always
gonna be
plays.
something, bro. There's got to be
Yeah,
something because we on paper, like they got us on video of how we
yeah,
basically played all season. We got to mix it up, and that's why I think it's a good thing. Why we had new offensive coordinators and new defensive coordinators. That's a good thing. But we'll move forward and we'll actually come to the expectations for this game. And what we'll simply just do is and we would like to hear y'all in the comments tell us what y'all think the score is going to be for this coming game. Cool. I'll start off with you. What do you think the score is going to be? And also, I'll add another one. Who you think is going to be the standout player this game?
So I think the score is going to be 34-17. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to go defense with the standout player. And I'm going to actually flip it up and go with the big cat.
okay,
It's time for him to have one of them games. Jordan Davis
Okay.
eating up in the middle and getting in that backfield and knocking some people over too.
I
okay.
like that. I like that. Jay, what you got?
I got a similar score. I got 35-14. I just don't think, like I said, like much praise to Zach Wilson and his journey because he was getting bashed, but this is the game that's going to be very rough for him. I just think his time is going to be off. They may get a score like a weird type of score of a field position, maybe if they get a good field position, but I just don't see their offense in putting up much traction. Their defense is very good, but they're on the field too much to be play at their highest potential because they're always on the field because their offense doesn't control the time of possession like us. So give me 35-14.
Okay. Cool,
Could be
cool. And
fair.
who's your standout player?
Standout player, you know, I think Devontae's do. I think Devontae's do. Last week, they want to quote unquote say he was upset. He wasn't getting the ball. They were trying to make a rift out of it. But I just think the Eagles alternate how they spread the ball, and I just think he's due. So I think Devontae make a couple plays at the MetLife Stadium this Sunday.
Nice, nice. I like it.
I like
So
it.
I'm gonna go 28-10 Eagles, of course. And I'm a I'm gonna actually pick the person that's gonna be coming back, N'Kobe Dean. I think N'Kobe Dean's gonna make an impact. We like Cool was saying earlier, we get our quarterback on defense back now.
Yeah,
So
true.
I would like to see that. So I got 28-10 and N'Kobe Dean is being the impact player of this game.
Nice, nice.
Gio, before we get off, Gio just asked, he said, what do you think we should do in order to not have a Halo run? So which much even though makes big clutch plays. I'm sorry. Um, in order to not have a Halo. Okay. We
Maybe it's
should
a
do in
uh,
order to
uh
yeah.
Jalen. Okay, run as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that was the typo.
Jalen.
Yeah,
play
the
caller.
design
No,
runs.
you
Yeah,
good.
me and Warren spoke about that last week. The design runs, I don't know why we're utilizing them so much. I don't know what's up with all the design quarterback runs. I would like to utilize them less. We have good running backs. We have different type of backs. Just start. This offense is still, finding their identity, like you said, under Johnson. One thing we haven't done, we haven't even thrown up much screens to Dallas Goddard. You remember, Hurts always used to throw screens to Dallas Goddard. Where are the screens to Goddard? Like, I
To
haven't seen
anybody.
Yeah.
to anybody. Yeah, where's the screens at? Like, you're right. Where are the screens in general? Where are they at? But the
I
screens to
agree.
Goddard was a
Yeah.
staple play from Hurts. He throw it out. Quick little screen on the outside, and he would just bulldoze through the defense.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Jalen is he's got his contract now, so he wants to make sure that he's healthy. But at the same time, this is Jalen's team. Jalen runs that offense. So if he's telling Brian Johnson, I got this. Like, you got to put your faith into him. You put the money into him to make these decisions. Now, we have to be honest. Every run that he did make was a smart run. He got over 10 yards with every run that he made. So I think he's being smarter with what he's doing. And I did actually see that clip of him almost rolling his ankle too. So he's got to play smart. I don't think he's going to play like Josh Allen. Crazy. He's not going to play hero ball. He's going to play smart ball. We got to be confident in Jalen. But yeah, anybody got anything before they get off?
Fly Eagles fly, man.
Cool.
Let's go out here and dominate this game and finally start trying to put it together. We look better in week 5 than we did in week 3. I'm not counting week 4 because that was garbage. But so I saw a lot better team this past week. So hopefully we can build upon that and keep going in the right direction.
Yeah, my expectations for them are W. I don't want to overlook any games, but the games you're supposed to win, you got to win them if you want to be elite and you want to get back to the big game. If we want that number 1 seed again, which I'm always curious about, I don't care if it's week 1 or week 5, we're already in position to start looking towards that after the bye week if we can finish up these games. So every win matters. San Francisco is rolling in the NFC right now. We want to keep our foot on the throat of Dallas and the Giants and Washington in our division. We want to, we don't want to sweat on our way to the playoffs. I always say once you could win as many games as you can in the beginning and start wrapping it up, it's always better. So I expect a W.
Most definitely. I just expect a better game than last week, and the goal is to get better and better each week. I think we're doing that, and we on to a good start. But we appreciate everybody checking us out live. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate the likes. Don't forget to like and subscribe us onto our Eagles Collective channel. And also, I appreciate this collab, the Eagles Elite and the Eagles Collective.
Yeah, that's cool.
Together. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Cool.
Absolutely.
You got anything you want to tell everybody?
Hey, Wednesday nights. I'm gonna say it again. Wednesday nights.
Say it all.
EST.
Say it all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come check us out. We're Talking Eagles. YouTube.com/that Eagles Elite Podcast. Monday nights we got a wrestling show on the Real Play Callers channel. That's YouTube.com/that Real Play Callers or playcallersportstalk.com/live. Tuesday nights we do a NFL matchup madness. We go most of the teams. We go through all the teams and just talk about the matchups, different points on the matchups. Friday night we have our show on the same channel. Then Saturday we got the NFC Beast, where it's all things NFC East. We got collabs. We're on different channels, but you can find it on Eagles Elite as well. And then if you are available, I did forget this before. If you are available on Fridays at 10 a.m. at WDJYFM.com. We do have a Play Callers radio show, or you can find it on TuneIn, and then the same thing, WDJY. So yeah, check us out, man. We doing it. We out here. Got some more things that'll be coming up the pipeline soon too. But hey, we out here.
What's up, bro?
What's up? Yeah, but this is the Eagles Collective collabing with the Eagles Elite. Y'all have a good night. Fly Eagles fly.
Fly Eagles fly.